y'all think y'all playing? Sturdy, nigga. Sturdy,
all the way.
All the way about that
All the way.
Sturdy.
Did this man just say grrr? I think this man really did just say grrr. You know what that reminds me of? That scene in Waiting to Exhale when Whitney Houston was having her little episode with the man and he was, doing his thing and she said grrr. That's what this is given. But nonetheless, in case you don't know, this is Kenneth Petty, also known as Mr. Minaj, Nicki Minaj's husband, convicted sexual offender, just released off of house arrest. Mr. Petty decides when I'm released off house arrest, I'm going to go stand outside at 3 a.m. with my friends and we are going to growl. We are going to growl and we are going to taunt and we are going to send threats to Cardi B's husband, Offset. In one of the clips, and this one is actually, he even alludes to someone having to pay for a funeral. Now, if that's not a threat, I don't know what is. Now, why he decided to do that, I don't know. But guess what the judge decided to do? The judge decided, guess what? You are now ordered to 120 days back on house arrest. Now, see here, here's the thing, chatters. In my 40s, there's certain things I'm just not going to do. To each his own. But I'm not standing outside at no 3 a.m., nor am I standing outside for too long unless it's some sort of outside event or kid event or something. But look here, standing outside too long at a certain age, I could get dizzy. I could get a hot flash. Is it snacks? I'm not doing this, So the fact that somebody in our age group is standing outside, no seats, for what? So I'm just wondering, what does that prove? Or what is that going to do? Is it something that I'm missing? Do you get some sort of, is there another account that I don't know about in which people deposit if you stand outside and look cool? Do you get paid for that? Why do you do that? Because let's face it, Cardi B and Nicki Minaj are not going to be friends anytime soon. Cardi was given diva in distress when she walked out barefoot with that knot on her head when they had their situation. So we get it. These women aren't going to be friends. Clearly. Nicki Minaj standing behind her security guard saying, I'm right here, will forever be hilarious to me. I'm right here, girl. If you don't want to fight, just say that. But nonetheless, in all seriousness, there's no point to this. I don't know what Mr. Petty was thinking. I don't know if he was having a petty moment, an out-of-body experience. This has nothing to do with Cardi B's husband. Why you decided to send threats to this man? Well, he's literally on a live stream having the time of his life and then gets into the jet and flies off somewhere because that's what millionaires do. Mr. Petty is married to, if Nicki Minaj is not a billionaire by now, she's close to it. This lady has built her empire. She is wealthy. So when you have yourself in a certain tax bracket, I would assume there's certain things that you no longer want to do or engage in. I know I wouldn't. I would be somewhere being fabulous and getting daily massages or things of that nature. So why people decide to still go back to their hoods and engage in activity that can land them in jail or either unalived is beyond me. We've seen that young Dolph was taken untimely in his own neighborhood. That's what happens. Now, I'm not saying turn your back on your community. Give, donate, work with the schools, see what you can do. But it comes to a point where it's no longer safe. And now you are landing yourself in legal litigations. And Mr. Petty is right back on house arrest, all for that moment to hit record and prove to the world or whoever that I can send threats and I'm outside at 3 o'clock in the morning. How beneficial is that? Is that conducive to anyone's growth, your wife's growth? Did you even think about her? Because let's face it, Nicki Minaj does have a younger audience. There's a lot of young girls that still look up to the Barbs and things of that nature. There's not a lot of 50, 60-year-old women that are Nicki Minaj fans, so to say. That's just my opinion, So why would you even want to paint your wife in this light? Or did you even think of your wife's brand? At some point, we need to know better and do better because this was costly and it just cost him 120 days back in the house. When you're in the house, how are you helping your family outside of, being there, the hands-on care for the son? You don't need the nanny. That's good. But as a woman, how are you able to help me? if you just have to stay in the house now for 120 days. So that this makes no sense. So Mr. Petty has learned the hard way what happens when you engage in certain activities. He's now spending 120 more days back in the house, and you were just released, all for this moment. This moment of growling, this moment of putting your hoodie on and taking your hoodie off and standing outside to send threats. Mr. Petty, I hope it was worth it to you. I hope that made you feel better. Maybe that brought you something, some sort of satisfaction that I don't know. Or maybe being in the house as long as you were, because keep in mind, you just got off house arrest. Maybe your mental is a little distorted right now, but nonetheless.
And hopefully this is just an opportunity for people to just do better. At the end of the day, it's not worth it. It really, truly isn't. Let's just live our lives peacefully, be safe, be smart about our decisions, because we don't need to lose any more parties, talent, gifts to this world for something so minor, so minuscule. It's not worth it. Make sure to like, comment, follow, and subscribe. If you're not already following me on Facebook, make sure you follow the Pink Tongue at Chatty Cathy for daily motivation and humor. As always, you guys are amazing. Don't forget to hit the bell and subscribe.